More and more children are out of school, but parents don't want math learning to stop. They're turning to Mathnasium at home. Real-time math instruction tailored to your child's exact educational needs. It's the same face-to-face live instruction used in our centers for over 15 years, now on a computer. Your child can keep their math skills sharp, catch up, or soar ahead, from home or anywhere with an internet connection. To learn if Mathnasium at home is right for your child, visit mathnasium.com/at-home. Mathnasium at home, changing lives through math.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's Mathnasium Schoolhouse. My name is Kevin and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We have a worksheet for you guys to do along with us today, and if you didn't have a chance to download it already, we'll go ahead and post it in the comments, so keep an eye for it there as well. So while you guys get that downloaded and have a chance to look at that, maybe print it off, I'm going to get everything set up on my end. For today's lesson, we're going to be talking about the metric system. So, once we're pretty sure that everybody has their worksheet, we'll go ahead and get started. So while we're waiting for that to be in the comments and waiting for everybody to get that, go ahead and let me know what your name is, where you're from, what grade you're in, how your weekend was. I know some of us had a long holiday weekend, so that's pretty exciting. Hopefully you guys got to get out and enjoy some nice weather. I know that I did. All right, so let's go ahead and start to talk about the metric system. And the first thing that we need to review briefly is counting in tens and noticing that every time we count 10 of one of these units starting at 0, something happens. So let's look at our tenths. So if I have 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10/10, that's the same thing as one whole. So we notice I've moved now one space to the left. So I can do the same thing with my ones. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ones. It's the same thing as 1/10. Again, we moved over one column to the left, and I can count my tens. I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and so on. So again, every time we count 10 of one of our things starting at 0, we move one column to the left. Things get 10 bigger as we move columns to the left. So thinking about the metric system, every time you count 10 of a given unit, whether that's meters, grams, or liters, you get 1 of the next unit. And that's again talking about distance, mass, or capacity. So if we're just going to use distance for this example, we have millimeter, centimeter, decimeter, meter, decameter, hectometer, and kilometer. So if I have 10 millimeters, that's the same thing as 1 centimeter. If I have 10 centimeters, that's the same thing as 1 decimeter. If I have 10 decimeters, same thing as 1 meter. You can think about this in the same way we think about money, where 10 cents is 1 dime, 10 dimes is $1, 10 $1 bills is the same thing as 1 $10 bill, and so on. So now that we've looked at that, let's actually get here into some practice problems. So if I have 1 milligram here in my first part, I've got 1 milligram. That's the same thing if I have 10 of them as 1 centigram. So you can see here in this picture, there are 10 of my milligrams. Right? 10 of those guys give me a centigram. And if I have my centigrams, and I have 10 of them, I get a decigram. So my 10 centigrams is the same thing as how many milligrams. So how many little circles do we think we have here in this square? How many milligrams are in a decigram? Well, I know that 10 milligrams made a centigram, and 10 centigrams makes a decigram. So if I have 10 times 10, I have 100 milligrams. So now, if I take my decigrams, and I have 10 of those, I get 1 gram. So 1 gram is 10 decigrams, which means it's 100 centigrams, or 1,000 milligrams. So the cool thing about the metric system is once you know how to convert one type of unit, being meter, gram, or liter, we know how to convert them all. Because they're linear units, each place is 10 times bigger than the place to its right. So I know that 1 meter is the same thing as 10 decimeters. Okay, so if I have 234 centimeters, and I'm looking to go to decameters, I just want to count the number of places from centimeter to decimeter in the chart above. So, if I take the decimal point in 234, can you guys not see my stuff okay? Let's see. Looks like it might be a little bit blurry. All right. Is that better? Can you guys hear me now? Hopefully you guys can hear me better. Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and look at an example now. Hopefully this one's a little bit bigger. Everybody can see it better. Everybody can hear me better. All right, cool. So if we want to look at 234 kilograms, into centigrams. In the chart above, so in our chart up here, we can see that there's 5 places, 5 spots from centi up to kilo. There's 5 spots here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I have the decimal place and I've got my 234 kilograms, I'll write it over here. 234. And I need to move my decimal point 5 places to the right, since centigram is 5 places to the right of kilogram. I can do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll fill all of those in with zeros. I have my centigrams. All right, cool. So if we're looking at number 1, how many decigrams are in 34 hectograms? How many decigrams are in 34 hectograms? Well, if I can count my spaces from hecto to deci, 1, 2, 3, and then I know that I need to move my decimal place 3 to the right, so I have 34, 2, 3 zeros, and put my comma, so it's 34,000 decigrams and 34 hectograms. Oops, I wrote on the wrong line. Sorry about that. Number 2. 34 decimeters is how many kilometers? Well, from deci to kilo is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. So I need to move my decimal point 4 spaces. So I've got 34, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Put my decimal point, so 34 decimeters is what? Good, glad you guys can hear and see everything now. Perfect. All right, on to the next one. Hectogram to decigram. Well, we already know that we converted hectometer to decimeter. So it must be the same thing, because once we can convert one unit, we can convert any of them, because they work in places of tens. It's the same thing, 34,000. And last one here, 34 deciliters to kiloliters. Once again, we've done this already. We know this conversion. So we have our solution. All right, let's do a couple more. So 1 meter is how many decimeters? 1 meter is how many decimeters? How far is it from meter to deci? It's 1 place, so we move 1 place to the right, and it's 10. You can also think about what the word deci means. We think about decade is 10. Right? It's another way we can think about it. Okay. How about 1 meter is how many centimeters? 2 spaces means I need 2 zeros. And millimeters is 1 more. So I need 1 more 0. All right. Well done. So then what about 2 meters? Well, if 1 meter was 10 decimeters, 2 meters must be 20 decimeters. And if 1 meter was 100 centimeters, what do we think from 5 meters to 5 decimeters is? We can think about that one like number 4 as well. We know that it's moving our place value once, so it's 50. And number 6, 3 meters is how many millimeters? $3,000. Looks like the screen might still be a little bit blurry. Let me see if I can fix that for these next couple. Is that better for blurriness? Let me know. All right. So we're going to go ahead and you guys let me know, and I'm just going to make sure we have our chart here So we have kilo, hecto, deca. We have our unit, we have our meter, and then we've got deci, centi, and down here we have milli. Didn't quite get it all the way fit in there, but that'll work for now. Okay, looks like everybody can see a little bit better. So 21 meters is how many centimeters? We can just count our places, 2 places over. So we had 21, moving 2 place values over, we have 2,100 centimeters. 12 meters. There's 10 decimeters in a meter, so we have 120 decimeters in 12 meters. Meters to millimeters. How many spaces? 3. So it would be 10,000 millimeters is 10 meters. Nicely done. Good job. Centimeters to meters. Looking at going the other way now. Centimeters to meters is 2 spaces to the left. So if I have my decimal point here and I move it 2 spaces to the left, that's not very clear. 2 spaces to the left, that leaves me with 10 meters. All right, nice job. Go ahead and knock these next couple out. 400 decimeters is 40 meters. 2 meters is 200 centimeters. 3 decimeters is 3/10 of a meter. We're moving 1 space to the left, 1 place to the left. 1,000 decimeters. We have 1,000 decimeters. We're moving 1 place to the left. So that would be 100 meters. Nicely done, everybody. And 500 centimeters. We know there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So that leaves us with 5 meters. Nice job. Okay. So, do the same thing here. Let me make sure everybody can read this page. We're only going to do probably the first half of these. Seems like everybody's catching on to this pretty quick. Just resize there a little bit. All right, so if you're following along with me on our worksheet, we're only going to go through number 9 on this page. So you have a couple of extra to practice on your own if you need it. Otherwise, we're just going to keep moving on. Seems like everybody's got this going okay. So, moving from meters to decameters. Remember, DAM is for decameter. DAM is the abbreviation for decameter. So if I have 1 meter, how many decameters do I have? 10, nice job. 1 meter is how many kilometers? 1 meter is how many kilometers? Oh, I'm sorry, I went the wrong way. I'm thinking decimeters. Let me rephrase myself. 1 meter is 1/10 of a decameter. Good catch by everybody there. Nice job. All right. So now number 2. 1 meter is how many kilometers? Moving to the left here, 3 spaces. So if I have my decimal point here, 1, 2, 3, fill that in with zeros. So I am at 1/1000th of a meter. Nice job. All right. 1 meter is how many hectometers? Moving 2 spaces there. So we wind up with, nice job, 1/100th of a meter. 1/100th of a hectometer. Get my brain working on this page. All right, number 4. Number 4, 30 meters is the same thing as 3/10 of a hectometer. 50 meters. We're looking at one place value to the left. We have 5 decameters. 33 meters is the same as 33,000th of a kilometer. Number 7, 42 decameters. We're moving 1 unit to the right now. It's 420 meters. I've got 10 hectometers. Again, we're going to move 2 places to the right now. So we have 1,000 meters. And last one, 2 kilometers. We know there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So we have 2,000 meters in our kilometer. Nice job. All right. Let's see. We might zip right through some of these. All right, let's go ahead. We'll do a couple of these, and I want to get into some problem solving practice with these metric units. All right. So we're going to do multiple conversions on this page. We want to work on converting multiple times across our different units. So I think we can do this without the chart. If I have 42 centimeters, how many meters is that? 42 centimeters is how many meters? 42 hundredths of a meter. So how many millimeters is 42 centimeters or 42 hundredths of a meter? How many millimeters would that be? Nice job, 420. Nicely done. All right, and now looking at decameters. Think about which way is easiest to convert from. Are millimeters closer to decameters or are meters closer to decameters? Meters are, right? So we'll convert from there. And we know that there are 10 meters in a decameter, so we need to move from meters, our place value 1 to the left, so that leaves us with 42 thousandths of a decameter. Nicely done. Okay. Number 2. 97 decimeters is the same thing as 9 7/10 of a meter. So for centimeters, we're looking at 970 centimeters in 9.7 meters. And millimeters, we're moving our decimal place again to the right, 9,700 millimeters. Well done. Well done. Number 3, 23 meters is the same thing as 2,300 centimeters. Looking back at meters, meters are smaller than hectometers, so we know that we're moving our place value to the left. We're going to move it 2 spaces because we have to go from meters to decameters to hectometers. So I've got 1, 2 decimal places there. 23 hundredths hectometer. And going all the way to decameters, we're going now 1 place back to the right. So we have 2.3. It may help if you're following along to continue looking at the chart that we had in the past couple pages if this is something that's new to you, or thinking about where we're moving along in our units of tens, kind of remembering the order in which our units come in. From meter up to kilometer, or from meter all the way down to decimeter. Okay, number 4. 88 decameters. Looking at kilometers now. 88 decameters to kilometers. We have to go 2 units to the left, so we'll move this decimal value here 2 units to the left. So we have 88 hundredths. Meters now, thinking all the way back from decameter to meter. Moving 1 to the right. 1 unit to the right is 880. Well done. And then decimeters, getting even smaller in our units, which means our number needs to get larger. We're going to get larger by a factor of 10. So we have 8,800. All right, number 5. Number 5. 131 decimeters is the same as 1.31 decameters. Which is the same as 131 thousandths of a hectometer. That's also 1,310 centimeters. So recognizing that these are all equivalent measurements, we can think about this like if we have one really big, long kilometer measure, and we're either counting the bigger blocks or the smaller blocks. So think about if we're talking about inches and feet, are we counting inches, are we counting feet, or are we counting yards? We're obviously talking about the metric system, so different units, but thinking about how many of these smaller units go into the larger ones. So I'm going to go ahead and move along past these next couple here because it seems like everybody's got this down pretty well, and I want to get into the last little bit here, which is some problem solving. So now we're going to be doing a little bit of computation alongside with our metric conversions. So for number 1, Inez walked into the produce market to get apples. She walked 750 meters north, 435 meters east, and then 615 meters north again. Wants to know how many kilometers did she walk? Well, the first thing we need to know is how many meters. So if we're talking about cumulative distance traveled, we can add all of these up. So if I have 750 plus 435 plus 615, and again, those are all meters. So how many meters would that be? You guys tell me how many meters she walked, and then we'll work on converting it to kilometers. Yeah, nice job. She walked 1,800 meters. So how many kilometers is that? 1,800 meters is how many kilometers? Very good. She walked 1.8 kilometers. Well done. All right, for number 2, Peter and Jack paced out a soccer field that was 75 strides long and 55 strides wide. If each stride is 8 decimeters long, what is the area of the field in square meters? So a little bit of extra problem solving here, and I want to give us some space to work on this. So give me just a minute, and maybe you guys can start thinking about this one. So I'm just going to do a little bit of rearranging of my work here. All right. So they're pacing out their soccer field. I have to apologize for my bad drawing. But there's our soccer field. And they said it was 75 strides long and 55 strides wide. And we know that each stride is 8 decimeters long. So what I really want to know is how wide and how long my field is in decimeters. So what would that be? How many strides wide and long is my soccer field in decimeters? So I need 55, 8 times. So my width is 440 decimeters. And my length is what? I've got 75, 8 times. Gives me 600 decimeters. So now we're not worried about strides anymore. We have our decimeter. So what is the area, the square meters of our field? Well, 600 times 440 gives us what? $600 times 440 gives us what? We have 264,000 decimeters. And now we have to convert that because it's asking the final answer for meters. So I've got 264,000 decimeters. I'm going from decimeter to centimeter to meter. So we're moving 3 units, which direction? 2 units, I'm sorry, to the right. So that leaves me with 2,640 meters. All right. Last one here. Let's go ahead and make this bigger so that we can read the problem. We might be making it smaller again so we can do some work. Okay. So, Mr. Solaris wants Paco to paint a mural on the wall of his grocery store. That wall measures 650 centimeters high and 17 meters long. So I think I have enough space to do that over here. All right, so we have our wall. Very curvy wall, but we have a wall. And it's 650 centimeters tall and 17 meters long. And it's asking how many square decimeters the mural is going to be. So let's go ahead and convert both of these to decimeters first. Let's get a common unit, and then we can do the multiplication to get the area. So 650 centimeters is how many decimeters? 650 centimeters is how many decimeters? We have to think about which one's bigger, centi or decimeters. Very good. What do we think? Is it bigger? Is it smaller? What do we think? Yeah, a couple people got the answer all the way already. Very good. Yeah, okay, good job. Nice job. Mimi, good job. It's 11,050 decimeters. All right. So we ended up skipping a couple problems. So again, if you guys were following along on the worksheet, you've got some extra problems to work on. And as always, we'll put up another worksheet with some more practice and some challenging problems for you guys to work on. Maybe we'll do some more problem solving. That's about the end of our time for today. So I want to thank everybody for joining, and we will see everyone tomorrow. Nice job.
It's afternoons that seem to be the most hectic for us, so it was much more convenient when we found Mathnasium at home.
All right, so how do we do half of 5? I think one of the best things about at home is that it really feels like you're almost at home with the student in their house teaching them.
I'm in my comfort zone.
You can just ask for help and the instructor will come right to you.
With Mathnasium at home, I know that they're getting the help that they need.
Awesome, great job.
Mathnasium, changing lives through math.